my first class with T.T. Liang was in Boston. And it was in the winter of 1972, as I remember. And we used to go up there, a group of us used to go up every weekend for months. I can't remember how many months, 3, 4, 5 months, something like that. And we would go up with T.T. and we would study his pushing hands, and we'd study his sword forms, and his free fighting system, his two-man set. Now, the thing that I've always noticed the first class I took with T.T. Liang, which was a kick, is that unlike almost anybody else, he used to call it the Tai Chi dance because he had this metronome. And he would play this, Chinese music, and you do the form to the music and to the metronome, which was fine. And it was a way, actually, what I think most people at that time did not know, but it was a way, without saying to do it, how to practice with the opening and closings in the form. About how you do something, you do here, but then that's an opening, and then that's a closing. And he did that. Now, the thing about T.T. Liang, and I've written about this and I've said it, is that there's a French term that's called joie de vivre, which is the love of life. He was funny. He was sneaky. And he also was extremely intelligent, and his English was really good. As a matter of fact, at one point, he was studying for a master's degree in Harvard, and his native language was Chinese. He spoke it from a young age, so that kind of helped. But there was never a real communication problem with T.T. Liang. And the guy could be hilariously funny. He had a really, really wry sense of humor. I got to know him really, really well years later in Taiwan when I used to go to his classes, more out of just love of the man. And he turned me on to a lot of people in Taiwan in terms of martial arts. But he was a very exceptional type of person. This was a guy when he's like 75 years old is going and learning praying mantis just to have, something to like keep him alive and keep him going and keep his learning growing ever larger. I ended up studying with the person he studied with. But the biggest thing about T.T. Liang is that he didn't go into micro details that well. But he was very, very good at having you understand what the big, really important points were. And the other part of it was that he just had, I've had very few teachers who just had that real love of life. And, honestly, he could have been doing anything and you probably would want to hang around with him. But his Tai Chi was excellent. He was one of Jiang Menching's top students. Jiang Menching at that time had 2 top students in the United States, T.T. Liang and William Chen. And when T.T. Liang first taught in the United Nations in New York, and then when Jiang Menching, he took the class over, and then that's when T.T. moved to Boston to give his teacher space. So with all that, it was a great privilege knowing him when I think about people in my life, whom in the Tai Chi field, that if you had to be stuck on a desert island with, let's put it this way, I'd at least like T.T. to be one of them. I don't know about the only one, but I definitely would like him to be one of them. Great guy, good teacher, very clear, and at that time, one of the only people doing the two-man fighting sanso set, which I originally learned in Japan when I was first learning. He was the only person who was doing it at that time in the United States.